A wise son makes a father glad, but a foolish son is a mother's grief. Treasures shall not profit the lawless, but righteousness shall deliver from death. The Lord will not let a righteous person starve, but the life of the impious he will ruin. Poverty makes a man humble, but the hands of the vigorous enrich. A son who is instructed shall be wise, and he will use the fool as a servant. An intelligent son was rescued from heat of the day, but a transgressing son is blasted by the wind in harvest time. The blessing of the Lord is upon the head of the righteous, but the mouth of the impious will conceal untimely sorrow. The memory of the righteous comes with eulogies, but the name of the impious is extinguished. A wise of heart will accept commandments, but he who is unable to keep his mouth shut, being crooked, will be tripped up. He who walks in integrity walks confidently, but he who perverts his ways will be found out. He who winks with his eyes deceitfully garners grief from men, but he who reproves openly makes peace. A spring of life is in the hand of a righteous person, but destruction covers the mouth of the impious. Hatred stirs up strife, but friendship covers all who are not fond of strife. He who produces wisdom from his lips strikes a heartless man with a rod. The wise will conceal perception, but the mouth of the reckless brings ruin near. The possessions of the rich are a strong city, but poverty is the ruin of the impious. The deeds of the righteous produce life, but the fruits of the impious sins. Discipline guards the ways of a righteous life, but unchastened instruction leads astray. Righteous lips conceal enmity, but they who utter slander are most foolish. By a multitude of words you will not escape sin, but if you restrain your lips you will be intelligent. The tongue of the righteous is choice silver, but the heart of the impious will fail. The lips of the righteous are versed in sublime things, but fools die in want. The blessing of the Lord is upon the head of a righteous person. It enriches, and grief of heart will not be added to it. With laughter a fool practices evil, but wisdom gives birth to prudence for a man. An impious person is engulfed in destruction, but the desire of a righteous person is acceptable. When the tempest passes, an impious person vanishes, but a righteous person, since he turned aside, is saved forever. As unripe grapes are harmful to the teeth, and smoke is to the eyes, so transgression is to those that practice it. The fear of the Lord adds days, but the years of the impious will be few. Gladness lingers with the righteous, but the hope of the impious will perish. The fear of the Lord is a stronghold for the devout, but ruin for those who do evil. The righteous will never give up, and the impious will not inhabit the land. The mouth of the righteous drips wisdom, but the tongue of the unjust will perish. The lips of the righteous drip charm, but the mouth of the impious turns people away. False balances are an abomination before the Lord, but a just weight is acceptable to him. Where pride enters, there will also be disgrace, but the mouth of the humble attends to wisdom. When a righteous person died, he left regret, but destruction of the impious is at hand, and joyous. Righteousness cuts out blameless paths, but impiety is beset with injustice. The righteousness of upright men rescues them, but transgressors are taken captive by their destruction. When a righteous man dies, hope does not perish, but the boast of the impious perishes. A righteous person eludes from a chase, and the impious is handed over in his stead. In the mouth of the impious is a snare to citizens, but the perception of the righteous is free from difficulties. By the good deeds of the righteous a city succeeded, but by the mouths of the impious it was leveled. A person who lacks sense scorns citizens, but an intelligent man keeps quiet. A double-tongued man discloses counsels in a meeting, but a person loyal in spirit conceals matters. They who have no direction fall like leaves, but in much counsel there is safety. A wicked person does evil whenever he mingles with a righteous person, and he hates the sound of security. A gracious wife procures honor for her husband, but a seat of dishonor is a woman who hates justice. The deficient shrink from wealth, but the diligent support themselves with wealth. A merciful man does good to his own self, but the merciless person destroys his body. An impious person performs unjust works, but the seed of the just is a reward of truth. A righteous son is born to life, but the pursuit of the impious leads to death. Crooked ways are an abomination to the Lord, but acceptable to him are all who are blameless in their ways. One who unjustly joins hands will not go unpunished, but he who sows righteousness will receive an assured reward. Like a ring in a pig's snout, so is beauty to an imprudent woman. All the desire of the righteous is good, but the hope of the impious will perish. There are those who by distributing their livelihood increase it, and there are others who gather, yet have less. Every totally sincere person is blessed, but an ill-tempered man is not respected. May he who withholds grain leave it to the nations, and may a blessing be on the head of him who shares it. He who devises good seeks good favor, but as for him who seeks out evil, it will overtake him. As for him who puts his trust in wealth, he will fall, but as for him who supports the righteous, he will flourish. He who does not deal graciously with his own household will inherit wind, and the fool will be a slave to the intelligent. From the fruit of righteousness grows a tree of life, but the souls of transgressors are cut off untimely. If the righteous is scarcely saved, where will the impious and the sinner appear? He who loves discipline loves perception, but he who hates reproofs is a fool. He who finds favor with the Lord is superior, but a lawless man will be passed over in silence. No person will prosper from what is lawless, but the roots of the just will not be removed. A courageous wife is a crown to her husband, but like a worm in wood, so a mischievous wife destroys a man. The thoughts of the just are judgments, but the impious guides treachery. The words of the impious are crafty, but the mouth of the upright will deliver them. Wherever the impious turns he disappears, but the households of the righteous endure. The mouth of an intelligent person is praised by a man, but the slow on the uptake is mocked. Better is a man in dishonor, being a slave to himself, than one who confers honor upon himself while he lacks food. A just person takes pity on the lives of his cattle, but the feelings of the impious are without mercy. He who tills his own land shall be satisfied with food, but those who pursue vanities lack sense. He who enjoys himself in banquets of wine shall leave behind disgrace in his own strongholds. The desires of the impious are evil, but the roots of the pious are in secure places. Through the sin of his lips a sinner falls into snares, but a just person escapes from them. He who looks gentle will be pitied, but he who contends in the gates will afflict souls. From the fruit of the mouth a man's soul will be filled with good, and the rewards of his lips shall be given to him. The ways of fools are right in their own eyes, but a wise man listens to advice. A fool expresses his anger at once, but the prudent hides his own disgrace. A just person proclaims trust as it is, but the witness of unjust things is deceitful. Some, when they speak, wound with a dagger, but the tongues of wise men heal. Truthful lips establish testimony, but a hasty witness has a dishonest tongue. Deceit is in the heart of him who devises evil, but those who intend peace will rejoice. Nothing unjust will be pleasing to the just, but the impious will be filled with evil. False lips are an abomination to the Lord, but he who acts faithfully is acceptable to him. An intelligent man is a seat of perception, but the heart of fools will meet with curses. The hand of the elected will easily govern, but the deceitful will become a prey. Terrifying news troubles the heart of a just man, but a good message cheers him up. A just arbiter will be his own friend, but the opinions of the impious are unfair. Evil will pursue those that sin, and the way of the impious shall lead them astray. The deceitful will obtain no gain, but a pure man a valuable possession. In the ways of justice there is life, but the ways of those who bear grudges lead to death. A smart son is obedient to his father, but a disobedient son is on course to destruction. A good person will eat of the fruits of justice, but the souls of transgressors will perish untimely. He who guards his own mouth keeps his own life, but he who is rash with his lips will bring terror upon himself. Every lazy person has desires, but the hands of the courageous are diligent. A just person hates an unjust word, but the impious is ashamed and will have no confidence. Justice guards the innocent, but sin makes the impious worthless. There are some who, while having nothing, enrich themselves, and there are others who humble themselves in much wealth. A man's own wealth is the ransom of his soul, but the poor does not experience threat. The just always have light, but the light of the impious is extinguished. Crafty souls go astray in sins, but just people are compassionate and have pity. An evil person does evil with pride, but they that are judges of themselves are wise. Property gotten hastily with lawlessness is diminished, but he who gathers for himself with piety will be increased. A just person is compassionate and lends. Better is he that begins to help heartily, than he that promises and leads another to hope, for a good desire is a tree of life. He who despises a matter will be despised by it, but as for him who fears the commandment, he is helped. To a crafty son nothing will be good, but a wise domestic will have prosperous business, and his ways shall be guided. The law of a wise man is a fountain of life, but he who is stupid will die by a snare. Sound discretion wins favor, and to know the law is the sign of a sound mind, but the ways of scorners end in destruction. Every smart person acts with knowledge, but the fool displayed his own evil. A rash king will fall into evil, but a reliable messenger will deliver him. Discipline removes poverty and disgrace, and he who rebukes will be honored. The desires of the pious sweeten his soul, but the deeds of the impious are far from knowledge. He who walks along with the wise will be wise, but he who walks along with fools will be known as one. Evil will pursue sinners, but good will overtake the just. A good man will leave an inheritance for his sons' sons, and the wealth of the impious is stored up for the righteous. The just will spend many years in wealth, but the unjust will perish suddenly. He who spares the staff hates his son, but he who loves him carefully disciplines him. A just man when eating satisfies his appetite, but the appetites of the impious are deficient.